Okay, Dave, want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is David Paige. I'm a rock songwriter from here in Chicago.
Great. So how did you get started in the business?
Well, I've been doing music since I was probably 14. I first started because my dad had a great ear for music. He wasn't necessarily a trained musician or anything, but he had the ability to listen to music and then be able to come home and like just start playing it on the piano.
Oh, cool. So he's play by ear, basically.
Yeah, he would be able to play by ear, and I thought that was just a really incredible talent. And I really wanted to try that. And so I tried my hand at it. I sat down at the piano, and I totally failed at playing the song that I was trying to play.
What song was it?
I don't even remember at this point. It's been several years, 14 years now. Since
Okay, it was a while ago, yeah.
So I don't remember what the song was, but what I remember was I came nowhere near the actual chord progression I was trying to play, but I kind of stumbled into something that I liked. And so I wrote my own lyrics over it, started coming up with melodies to it, and before you knew it, I had my own song. And I just fell in love with the songwriting process and have been... I started learning guitar because I thought that would be an instrument that I could kind of use more versatilely in songwriting. So,
Yeah. And what bands did you grow up with?
I grew up really, really diverse. So when I would be in the car with my dad, I would listen to things. We listened to the Oldies Station a lot, and so the Beatles, and we'd listen to the Beach Boys and the Rolling Stones and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons and all those really great older vocal bands. Call them vocal bands because they were all about the vocal harmonies. And so I was really, really drawn to that. I think that's, even if that's what they weren't necessarily known for, that's what I was really drawn to about them. And then as I got a little bit older, my sister gave me my first cassette, and that was Nirvana's Nevermind. And so hearing Dave Grohl with that, that drum intro to Smells Like Teen Spirit was something that kind of changed my musical palette forever. So, and then eventually I started really getting into the Foo Fighters. And that's been my favorite band ever since high school.
I met them once.
Yeah? Oh.
Through my roommate.
I think I might die if I met them.
It's a long story, but they were nice people.
Yeah? Very cool. I imagine they would be like some of the nicest people you'd meet, so.
But Courtney at the time was total waste product.
Yeah.
She kind of still, well, I don't talk about that. This is your interview, not theirs. All right. I was listening to one of your songs, Are You Ready?
Yep.
And watching the video. What made you decide to use that theme for the video?
It was pretty funny. We brought on a good friend of mine who's a video producer and a photographer. He's actually from Boston, and every time we're on tour, we stop through Boston and play in their area, and we crash with them. They're just really good people. His name is Zach Schaefer, and it's Red Hot Box
I read this, yeah.
And so we were crashing with them, and I was like, man, I really want to work on something with you. Here's the song I want to do. Let's figure something out. And so he came to me with the idea of doing a parody on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I loved it, and I think we all, Eric, my manager, myself, Dave, my drummer, who's like my junior manager, and then also both Zach and Mary, all of us just really latched onto it. We watched the video like a million times and came up with the key parts that we wanted to do.
Was that the real house?
Yeah, so that it shows the outside of us going up to Cameron's house, which is like the big glass one. But then the outside of the house that was supposed to be Ferris's house was not the real Ferris house. That was actually Dave's parents' house.
Okay, well, it served the purpose,
yeah.
Really
similar. In a lot
Even
of
inside kind of looked the same.
Yeah. That was his little brother Ben's room. That we did the intro scene in. So,
but no Ferrari.
No, we decided instead of renting a Ferrari, which would probably be pretty expensive, we decided it would be even funnier to make the band van like look sexy.
Okay.
And so we went with that. Yeah.
And you went to that small art gallery I saw in the video.
Yeah, actually, Slaymaker Gallery was our kind of like our version of doing the Art Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we went with that was because my fiance at the time was working there, and so she had really close connection with her boss, who's the owner, and he was more than happy to lend us the space for the day. So it was really cool.
That's cool.
They've actually done a lot of videos or a lot of like movie shoots there. That movie with Johnny Depp, where he was like John Dillinger. I forget.
He was John Dillinger.
Yeah, he was John Dillinger. What was the name of that?
Catch Me If You Can?
No.
No. I mean, it was that era.
Yeah. And anyway, there was a scene in that movie where they're doing like all the betting stuff, and they have like all those boards that they flip over in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the basement of this art gallery, and so there were just a few other movies.
They
shot
should
there.
went with the Green Mill and used that.
The Green Mill.
Yeah, because actually, was John Dillinger? Oh no, that was Al Capone.
Yeah.
It was the Green Mill. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Slaymaker was a really cool place because it had all this like unique art that wasn't necessarily the same pieces, but we got to kind of mimic all the big scenes of that movie. So
Yeah, you did. Except for the parade.
Well, our version of the parade was like the end when I kind of get rushed onto the crowd surf onto the stage.
Okay, all right. All right.
That was like our version of it.
And you weren't lip syncing either.
Well, I was lip syncing.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Just lip syncing to my own music, which is kind of weird.
But it's yours.
Yeah.
Not the Beatles.
No. Twist and Shout, great song.
You don't have to pay them license fees.
That's right.
Let's see what else I was going to ask you. On your video, you got engaged, and you did that video with your girlfriend, which became a song.
Yeah. Actually, I wrote the song before we got engaged.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the song and actually released it in 2013. And then later on in the year is when I actually proposed to her. So it wasn't until like 9 months after I released the record that all happened. And then I was putting together the video just to kind of, have a video of what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't with the intention of putting it to my music, but I knew that like the audio wasn't all that great in the videos, and so it was like, oh, well, I gotta put something to it. And so I just tried it because I didn't want to deal with licensing fees and dealing with that. And so
what is YouTube? Originally YouTube license fee is it's a give and take.
They're getting weird. Like they're like wanting to like take stuff down that's not.
It's Warner Brothers.
Copyright stuff.
It's Warner Brothers and Prince.
Yeah.
Blame him.
So I wanted to stay away from all that business, and so I just figured I'd use my own song, and it actually ended up like lining up perfectly, and I didn't have to do any re-editing, so it was.
I'm shocked.
It was perfect. So. Yeah.
And what do you use for editing tools?
For video editing, I usually use Final Cut. Occasionally, if I'm doing something real quick, I'll use like iMovie, but Final Cut's a lot easier to do and has like better results. Yeah.
All right. Okay, you did that song by the Falls. What was the name of it? You were by Niagara Falls.
Oh yeah. Dave, do you remember what that was?
It was either which one? Because we did a few on that tour.
It was either Are You Ready or Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Was it Inside Out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. We did a bunch of nature music videos on that tour.
We did a short series of videos in front of like national landmarks.
Oh, that's cool.
So we did Central Park, which was Let It Go in Central Park. And then I did Are You Ready at the Grand Canyon, and it was perfect, but the audio was just like the wind just howling by. So
you didn't like
I didn't end up using that one just because of the audio being so bad.
But Niagara Falls you use.
But Niagara Falls is great. Yeah, it turned out.
On the American side or Canadian side?
On the American side.
Canadian side is much better for shooting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was cooler looking. Like, we could see the buildings on the other side, and that was really cool. We've actually never been to Canada, and there's a funny story about that. So we're on tour, and we were traveling. It was myself and Dave. Dave, do we have another guitar player, or was it a trio?
We played as a trio.
It was a trio, yeah. And Joe, our bass player.
Mm-hmm.
And we played in Detroit, and then the next date was supposed to be in Toronto. And then after that was Boston, so we were planning on going up, hitting Toronto, and then just coming back out the other side of the lakes.
Okay.
And those were consecutive days, so a lot of driving between Toronto and Boston, but we would have made it work. Unfortunately, we get to the border, and if you're a performer going into another country, I did a lot of research on it, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently you don't need a work visa if you're playing anywhere other than a bar or a restaurant. Like, for those
Okay.
two,
Mm-hmm.
they consider you like a part of, like, an employee for the night, and so you need a work visa. But for the situations where you're the entertainment, you don't need it.
Okay.
And so we were playing at a place called Horseshoe Tavern, which is like a pretty reputable music venue there.
That's on the street. Don't tell me. Don't. York Avenue? No, it's on the street starts with M, I think.
I don't remember. This was in 2010. 2010 was the only
Mm-hmm.
time that we tried. And so we get to the border, we get there, and they're looking through everything, and they've determined that because on Monday nights the Horseshoe Tavern doesn't charge a cover, so it would be a free event,
Mm-hmm.
because they would be making their money not through ticket sales but through alcohol sales, that they would classify them as a bar on Monday nights. There's no way I could have saw that coming. So they're like, unless you get work visas, which will take you X amount of months and
Mm-hmm.
X amount of dollars per person. We're like, man, well, so much for that show. And so then we had to, like, whip our way around the south side of all of the Great Lakes. And
Well, that's not that bad. From
somehow make it
Detroit
there.
to Buffalo is 4 hours.
It wasn't Buffalo, it was Boston.
Oh, well, that's
So
right,
it's
because
a
you would have been
little further.
Yeah. So 12 hours.
Yeah, we ended up stopping in Pittsburgh and playing, like, a surprise show. We stopped in a place, and
Mm-hmm.
they were kind enough to let us play, so that was nice.
I can tell you something about that a little later.
Awesome. I'm excited.
About when you perform other places, like non-schedule.
Yeah.
Things can happen.
Yeah. We've had some experience with that as well.
Your Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah.
How cold was that?
It was pretty cold.
Okay, so you put the ice in there, you had your GoPro, and
Yeah. I wanted to get creative with it. It was fun. Like, I really love GoPros and shooting with those and just playing with them and putting them in fun places.
you got to put them on your guitar. And
We do that. Actually, I have probably like 100 or 200 hours of music just shot from our tours where we have GoPros, and I haven't done anything with a lot of that yet. So stockpiling that, and hopefully we'll have something pretty cool with all of that soon.
you got to get pointed towards your strings.
Yeah.
As you play, you see.
It's so cool. Like, sometimes it'll catch the string in like a light where you can just totally see it vibrating. Like, that's such a cool shot. Yeah.
And final question.
Sure.
What's on your cell phone, music-wise, right now?
So usually I only have, like, I listen to music primarily through my Spotify account.
Okay.
I do like the premium one where I pay like $10 a month, and then I can play whatever I want whenever I want.
So what do you usually listen to then?
So I have a long list of cover songs that I like to play for doing like acoustic shows, or I also perform in a cover band called the Student Body, and so I'll listen to
name.
a combination of those. It's fun because we actually have like a gimmick where we're all dressed up as like different people from
Colleges?
high school.
Oh, high school.
Yeah, like high school.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm the prom king. Then our bass player's like a nerd.
So stereotyping the high school
Yeah,
thing.
totally. And
About the
Tim, who's playing guitar in this band, he also plays guitar in that band.
But no cheerleader.
Well, not a cheerleader, but we have a Catholic schoolgirl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But as far as like music on the actual phone itself, the only thing I have on here is the entire Beatles discography.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have that on Spotify, and that's like my all-time favorite band. So, gotta have it all there.
Well, Dave, thank you very much for the interview.
Yeah, thank you.
No
It's
problem.
been a pleasure.
Thank you.